Good morning. So it seems like forever maybe since we've been together, but it is Wednesday morning. We have about 5 minutes or so before we're going to start. I just wanted to get the feed up, so give people a chance to see it and jump on if they were available. And of course, if you're joining us later watching the video, welcome as well. So I'm happy to be able to provide some workouts just to give you something different, maybe a familiar face that you can watch. So good morning, fellas. So anyways, we'll get started in about 5 minutes. So if you want to grab your weights, if you need a chair, some water, all of those things, just have them close by. Good morning, Tracy. Glad you're doing well. All right, so I'll be back and we'll get started. I'll turn on some music just so people know that we're gonna work out. There we go. Awesome. All right, I'll see you in a few minutes. All right. Looks like we have a couple people joining us, at least this morning. Who else do we have? Rosemary, hi. So good morning, everyone. So we're gonna work on balance within our class today. So just to kind of be aware of that. So if balance is a little bit of a challenge for you, just make sure that you have something nearby that you can use for support. And remember, when we're using support, we want to use like light fingertips, not grabbing on, because once you start grabbing on, then you're no longer balancing, you're just holding on, okay? So use those fingertips as an extra support, so kind of like a three-legged stool. You know, when you only have two legs, it's not super stable, but you add the third leg and it's stable, right? So being able to just use those light fingertips on a wall or a chair, the back of the couch, anything like that works. All right. Is it time? It is. Let's back up our music. I'll turn it up a little bit and we'll get started. How about that? All right. So you're going to start off off the bat and we're going to work on balance. So your feet are right underneath your hips. You're going to press up and down onto your toes. Up, down. Now when you press up, I want you to press through the big toe, because a lot of times when we do this, we let our ankles roll out to the side and we kind of do this number here. So not only is it not good for your ankles or your knees, but it doesn't help strengthen where we want to in those calves, pressing up and down. Can you feel those calves working? Yes. 2 more. 2, 1. Now just pedal those feet. We're just releasing that tension in those legs. Don't worry, you'll get to try those calf raises again, because that was so fun, right? I can just hear you, Phyllis. Here we go. Press up and down. Up, down, up, down. I'm going to turn that music up a little bit. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's super quiet for me, so I like to be on the beat, so I'm going to turn it up a little. Pressing up and down. 3, 2, 1. Pedal those feet so the toes stay on the floor. Now you're going to start to swing and tap. Opposite arm and leg. Lift the knee, lift. So a little bit different balance right here, because for that brief moment you're on only one leg. Swing and tap. Lift the leg, lift. March up tall. We're going to start to move left and right, or right and left, whichever way. Here we go. You can swing the arms or not. Remember, the arms and legs are the levers that drive the heart rate. So if we keep the hands down, we won't get winded as quickly. On the reverse, if you want more, we make the moves bigger, right? Pull up hamstring curl. Now you're going to switch so you can work the inner thigh. Press in, in, in. So as we pull that leg up in the center, we can work those inner thighs. And of course, adding the arms or not. 4, 3, 2, march up tall. You're going to start to move forward and back. We're going to start with the right leg. Here we go. Up. And back. Up. One more up and back. Then back to that side to side. Hamstring curl. Inner thighs, here we go. Four, 3, 2, 1, and march up tall. We're just going to switch to that left leg. Forward, backward, march. Here we go. Up. Up. Now side to side. Just pay attention to your breathing. You should be starting to notice that you're feeling warmer, that breath rate is increasing, your heart rate is increasing. Hamstring curl. Four, 3, 2, inner thighs. I'm like, all of a sudden I was like, what side am I on? See, so don't feel bad if sometimes you feel like you have two left feet, because sometimes it looks like I do too, huh? 3, 2, 1, march up tall. So at this point, you should feel very warm, depending on how warm your house is. At least it's not 115 outside today, right? Here we go, tap it forward. You're gonna start to pull in some balance work again. So I want you near the chair if you know that balance is a challenge. Here we go, take the leg front, sweep back, front, sweep. So we have single leg work right here, working on rotation through the hip. And of course, you have your fingers on the chair if you need it. Forward, back. Feel the work in that standing leg. Don't let it punch out like this. Pull that hip in, stabilize through the thigh. 3, 2, now you're gonna increase, lift up, touch back, up, touch back, up, 2 more. Up, touch back, and march it out. That glute should be kind of on fire, okay? So you feel that burning, maybe even into your thigh, you might feel that burning, okay? March it out, we're just letting that flush out, that lactic acid build up, and we're just gonna switch sides. So fingers on the chair if you need it, touch front and back, sweep, sweep. So there's no pressure on this, you're just rotating through the hip socket from forward to back. Try to not let the toe turn out. Can you see the difference? See how my toe's turning out? Sweep it forward and back, toe stays facing forward. This is pulled in, slight bend in the knee, so you kind of have like a little cushion. We don't ever want to lock out the joints. Ooh, I should have turned my fan on. Got warm quick. 2 more, then we're gonna lift that knee. Sweep back, lift. Now if the lift is too much, you just stay with that slide across the floor, because that gives you a little bit of support, right? But give it a try. You never know until you try, right? Lift up, slide back, up, slide back. 3, 2, 1, march in place. Good job. Let those legs flush out. You're doing great. Bring those hands up right here to get open and closed. Open, closed. So you're gonna see right here as we do a little bit of this work with the shoulders and the arms right here, that you can get a workout here for the shoulders without any extra resistance. So if you have shoulder issues and it bothers you to use the weights, hopefully this might work to be able to get the range of motion to keep those muscles active. 3, 2, 1, just take the arms straight, circle. So while we're circling, change the feet, tapping front. I know, your brain has to work just a little. So we're circling to the front. 3, 2, we're gonna circle to the back. Switch the range. Yes. So tapping those heels front, circling back. 4, 3, 2, keep the arms up, down, up. You got it. So it feels a little better, right, as we bring the arms down, but you can still feel that kind of burning sensation in the shoulders, right? Down and up. 4, 3, 2, pull up and hold. Keep tapping, circle. Woo! Yes, getting some nice shoulder work here. Take a break anytime you need it. Circle back. Little tiny circles, so not big circles. See, we're not flapping our wings. Little circles. Tiny movement to really activate those shoulder muscles. 4, 3, 2, 1, march up tall. Woo. Anybody else feeling really hot? Yes. We're gonna go back to that forward, backward march. Right leg, up, and back. One more time, up, and back, side to side. Hamstring curl. We're moving to that inner thigh. Here we go, inner thigh. 4, 3, 2, 1, and march up tall. switching to that left leg. Take it up, and back. Up, back. One more time. Up. Side to side. Hamstring curl. We're switching to that inner thigh. Arms or no arms. You could do just like this. We kick that heel in front of us, engaging that inner thigh. 2, 1, march up tall. You're going back to those calf raises, so feet are right under the hips. Up, down. Press through the big toe so that all of your toes are on the floor and you're not rolling to the outside of the foot. By the same token, you don't want it to roll all the way in either. 3, 2, press up and hold. Hold. Yeah, do you feel your body having to adjust? That is your body working with what's called your neural core to figure out how to stabilize, release, pedal the feet. If we never let our body figure that out, it won't figure it out. So when we're put in that situation, we're a tiny bit off balance, we just go down, okay? So it's very important to practice your balance. Because I don't want to hear that any of you fell. Because if we don't fall, we don't break anything, right? Let's try those calf raises one more time. Press up and down. And yeah, you feel those calves working. But we need our feet and our ankles and our calves to be strong. That's the beginning of our lower body powerhouse. 5, 4. See, I struggle every once in a while too. 2. Wow, 1. And of course, I've said this before, pedal the feet. Carpet makes it harder because it's squishy. So it doesn't give you a good base of support. So just like maybe you're hiking or walking in gravel, you know how you don't have a good base of support? Kind of simulates that. So if you have hard floor, it's probably a little easier. March it out. Nice job. Okay, you are gonna grab a drink and you're gonna grab your weights. So our muscles should be nice and warm at this point. And our body should be feeling warm, that heart rate's elevated. So we're prepared to start working with our strength. All right, so you're gonna hold your hands right here. So remember we've talked about the fly, it's called a deltoid fly. The deltoid, or the shoulder, when we fly the wings up like this, we activate those deltoids, okay? So we're gonna do both arms just to start so you kind of see it. So if you think of you have a pitcher of water in your hand, you're gonna dump the pitcher out, okay? That's the move. So we dump the pitcher out. 3 more, and you're gonna go to single side and you're gonna add a row. 2, I know, I'm making you think this morning. It's not that early. Release. Okay, so now that you understand the move, you're gonna hold that left arm stable. Pull up, and then pull back. And then pour the pitcher out, pull back. Notice how I change my hand position. Up, tip under, pull back. Yes, tip the pitcher out, pull back. Up, pull back. So we're working biceps, triceps, and shoulders all in this one move. Pull back. Up, dump that pitcher out, pull it back. Squeeze that shoulder blade up, and pull back. Up, and pull. 2 more each side. Dump it out. Pull back. Dump it out. You got it now. Last one. Up and back. Do you feel those shoulders working? Yeah. Pull back. Release. Nice job. Okay, we're gonna start to work biceps isolated, okay, meaning that's all we're working at one time. But I want you to pull those shoulder blades back. So your collarbone is this bony protrusion right across the front of the chest. I want you to think about pushing that collarbone out, okay? So as we push that collarbone out, we pull those shoulders back. So we're nice and tall. Our ears are over top of the shoulders because we have most of us stand like this, right? We kind of have that slumped over position. So we pull that shoulder blade back, collarbone is forward, chin is tucked back so the ears are over the shoulders. Palms are forward, right, or whichever side that is. I forget that on the video it transposes it back. Left and right. Up and down. So we're not swinging, okay? When I say swinging, do you know what that means? Have you ever seen this? Watch. You see people doing this, okay? We're just swinging. We're using momentum, okay? Very inefficient and increases the risk of injury. Instead, we contract, lower, contract, lower. That's the difference. So when I say no swinging, make sure you're not doing that. So up, down, that's it. 2 more singles each side. Then we're gonna go to both arms. Last time. Now both arms, up, down. Now if doing both arms is a little bit too challenging, if you find yourself, you feel like you're arching in your back or you're losing control, go back to the single side. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Set one weight down. You're gonna take the other weight between your hands like this. We're gonna work the triceps overhead. I'm gonna step back so I don't take my hand out of range. We press up overhead. Now my arms, do you notice the difference? I'm not doing a ballet circle, la la la, right? Arms are straight up tall. We drop straight down. Squeeze your head. Okay, so if you think, squeeze your head, so those arms come in nice and tight instead of out here, okay? First of all, it protects the shoulders and it keeps the tricep isolated. When you pull the arms out here, you're really not working your triceps hardly at all, okay? So down, up. We have a slight bend in the knees, and of course, always the option to sit. We sit forward on the chair in our active sitting. Drop it down and press. And of course, if at any time you feel like, I'm afraid I might drop that on my head, then you take it down and you come to a kick back right here. So you would have both hands in your weights and you would kick it back, or you can do one hand at a time, okay? All of those options work. It's just a little bit tougher overhead because you're pressing against gravity. And I know most of you are very strong and can totally do this. 3, 2, is it hard? Yeah. 1, and release. But we can do hard things, right? And that's how we get the change we're looking for. When we want our muscles to change and get stronger, we have to challenge them. If we don't challenge them, if we do our 3 bicep curls and we're like, I'm good for today, then they're never gonna get stronger, okay? All right, pick up both weights again. So you're going to do an upright row. So now your feet are a little bit wider than your hips. See, my hips are here, my feet are wider. Are you ready? Here we go. Down, pull up, down. So it's a little half squat. So we're not squatting down very far, but you use the pressure in the legs as you lift up to give you a little bit of momentum that helps that upright row. Because we're gonna take the legs out in a minute and you'll feel the difference. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now keep the legs stationary. Now see, when you remove that little bit of push from the legs, this feels a little bit harder, right? Yes. So that's just called adding power. Let's squat down again. Use those legs, and if you want to take them even wider, you totally can, but it's just a little half squat. So as we press up through the legs, it gives us momentum to pull up. Keep that shoulder blade pulled back, collarbone forward. 3, 2, 1, and release. Nice job. You're gonna set one weight down again. You're gonna do what's called a dumbbell swing. It's actually called a kettlebell swing, but you can totally do it with a dumbbell as well. So the kettlebell is like a round ball weight, and it has a single handle on the top. So you kind of hold on to it this way, but a dumbbell works. We hold it in this position here. legs are wide. Again, a power move. So we've worked the shoulders, both without weights in our cardio, and otherwise with our strength here. Now you're gonna add a little bit more power. So it's down right here, stop. So we use the legs to create that momentum to pull up. So it recruits work in the back. That low back has to work as you hinge and lift. But you've got to control it. So we stop before you get overhead. So kind of right in front of your face. Right here. And of course, the heavier the weight, the more the work. But a light weight is still going to give you some challenge right there. Feel that back working. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Nice job. Okay, grab both weights. We're gonna practice our dead lift, okay? So the weights are dead weight. They just hang. Okay, I'm gonna turn side on for the first few so you can see the difference. This is a hinge. So we have a slight bend. Remember, we never lock out the joints, so slight micro bend. But you see how slight that is? Tiny bend. We come down, shoulders are rolled back. See how my back is flat? I'm not doing this, okay? Pull the shoulder blades back, long line, lift. So when you bent over right here, an elephant climbed right on your back. You're gonna roll him off. Roll him right off, yes. Come down. You notice I'm not pulling up on my hands, they're just hanging. That is why this is called a dead lift, because you have dead weight here. And of course, if you're ever working out and you want to challenge your back a little bit more, grab some heavier weights just for this type of work, because all you're doing is just holding them and then using those back muscles to lift. So we have what's called a QL, or quadratus lumborum, your sacroiliac joint there in the low part of the back, that we have to strengthen for all of those movements we do, any kind of rotational movements especially, or hinging movements. Do you shop at Costco or Sam's Club? Yeah, everything's big, right? So you try to pick up that big 50-pound bag of something. You've got to use those legs and engage the back in this hip hinge right here to be able to do that. 2 more. Can you feel the back working yet? You might not if you have really light weights, okay? You have to do so many repetitions when you're not using a lot of weight, unless that is super weak in the back, that you might not actually feel some fatigue, but you are working, okay? This low back here with that hinge movement is really working, okay? This time you're gonna add a dead row, okay? So it's a dead lift, dead row combination. So we come down, then we row up. 3, 2, 1, hands come down, lift straight up. Okay, so that's the pattern. So we row down, those shoulder blades are pulled back. Row right up to the rib cage, so pull up to those ribs. 1, hands down, and then lift. Let's do 3 more sets. Down, 3, 2, 1, hands down, lift. 2 more, you can do this. Down, 3, 2. So we're recruiting further up in the back by adding that dead row with the dead lift. We have 1 more. Take it down. Row it up. 3, 2, 1. Release and done. Nice job. Set those weights down. Grab yourself a little drink. We're going to finish up with a little more balance, stretching and cooling down, and you'll be on your way for this morning. And doesn't it feel good? Have your workout all done. It's only 9 o'clock in the morning. All right, so again, if balance is a challenge, I want you near something, a wall, a couch, a chair that you can hold on to. So step your right leg, left leg back. This leg, whichever leg you want, it doesn't really matter, you're gonna do both. So the weight is in the front leg. So if you look from a side view, this leg is back, okay? The toe is just there for support because you're actually gonna lift this up in a second. The weight is here. So you can't be like this because you've got to be able to transfer the weight to this front leg. So we lean forward. See that angle? Nice long angle. then press and lift. Woo. See, I told you I gotta practice it too. This carpet makes it really hard. Lift up. There we go, now I'm getting it. Lift. Press up. So you feel the squeeze here in the glutes to lift, and the work here in that front thigh. Lift. And you don't have to lift it high. You could barely lift off the floor, and that's work as well. The higher you lift, the more squeeze you can get in the glute, okay? But just lifting off the floor, this front thigh is working for stability and balance, and that glute is working. 2 more. 2. And 1. Release. Shake it out. Can you feel that? I hope you can. Here's the thing. If we're ever doing an exercise and you're like, I don't know what she's talking about because I don't feel anything there, send me a little private message, and we can either have a chat where I can try to show you better, or sometimes just even a better explanation can help, okay? Because I want you to make sure you're getting the benefit out of the work. So if I'm not giving good directions and you can't figure it out, just let me know. Say, hey, could you clarify that, please? Here we go. So bend into that front leg, lift up. So we shift the weight forward just a tiny bit, but I want you to think about your head going up. So I'm not diving forward, okay? There is a slight forward movement because you're shifting the weight onto that thigh, but it's very slight. It's more of a press up. Yes. Remember, you can just barely lift the toe. You can actually even keep the toe just like grazing the floor there, but so that you feel the shift of weight into that front thigh. And the more that you lift, so the further I lift up, the bigger the squeeze in the glute. Lift. 3, 2, 1, and release. Woo! You should be feeling that. Good job. So by your chair, take that left leg back. Press the heel down. We're stretching out through that calf. So you've got to make sure the heel is down, the toes are forward. Don't let your toes roll out to the side because that takes the pressure out of the calf. And we want to stretch that calf, or what's called your soleus muscle. Add that to your file of Jeopardy knowledge, right? So if you ever go on Jeopardy and they ask you some anatomy questions, hopefully you'll have some pieces you can use, right? Now take that knee down. Yep, work in balance again. Take that hand up and take it over. Always the option to have the hand on the chair. Feel that stretch all the way out of the hip, up through the side body. Keep breathing. Release. Switch sides. Shake. Take that right leg back or the other leg, whichever one. Toes are forward. Press that heel down. When you press the heel down, then sit back up so your shoulders are right over the hips. We don't want to be forward because, again, you pull the stretch out of the back of the leg. So just breathe for a moment. Drop that knee down. I tell you, doing it on carpet's much harder. Bring that hand up. So you find that stability first. You've got something to hold on to if you need it. Really pull to the side as much as you can so you feel that big stretch all the way through the side body. Tip that pelvis forward so you get the stretch in that front quad. And release. Bring the hands behind the back. Pull down and open. Feel that stretch across the shoulders, opening through the collarbone. Nice job. We're going to stretch your hamstrings. So you're going to take your chair and have a seat. So you need to be seated far enough forward that your hamstrings are exposed. If you're sitting way back and you try to stretch them, you'll feel how the chair kind of digs into the hamstring there. So you want to be seated forward really so that your bum is just barely on the chair. So you'll feel what's called your sit bone. You can kind of feel that bony protrusion right there. Try to sit right there and extend the legs forward so you get a good stretch in that hamstring. Exhale and reach forward towards the toes. Now, you might not be able to reach all the way towards the toes. I want you to relax the hand down wherever it falls. So if it's up here by your knee, that's okay. But try to reach as far forward towards the toes, lifting that collarbone and bringing the tummy forward. So we're decreasing that range to stretch through that hamstring. Just keep breathing, pulling that toe towards you. Feel that stretch continue up the back of the leg. Bring that foot up and rotate that ankle. Just releasing that tension there. We worked those ankles good today. And switch legs. So that right leg is out, heel is down, and toes are up. Hinge forward, leading with your tummy, reaching towards the toes and letting the arm relax. So what we don't want is holding tension while we're holding that hand up here. So we let the arm fall. And pull that leg up and rotate that ankle. Make sure that you go both ways. Just kind of releasing that tension there, keeping that ankle joint nice and mobile. Release. Let's take a big breath in. Breathe up. And exhale. One more time. Breathe up. And exhale out. Nice job, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed the workout. Let me know if there's specific things that you'd like to see, so when I have time and I'm able to jump on and do some classes, I can do a little more specific things that you might be looking for. I think I'm going to do a yoga class. It will be a kind of a gentle yoga flow class, not a chair yoga class, because Kathleen is the master. She's got that down for you. But a few people have asked about doing a yoga flow class, so I think I might do a short little one for you one of these weeks when I get a chance. So have a wonderful week. Stay cool, stay hydrated. We'll see you soon.